Education, Health and Care Plans, or EHC plans, are for children and young people with special educational needs and/or a disability that cannot be met by the current provision at their educational setting. An EHC plan sets out what the child or young person's special educational needs are, their aspirations, the desired outcomes, and how these needs and outcomes will be met. The plan is also about any health and care provision that they need. Funding will be allocated according to need. EHC plans are for children and young people from 0 to 25 years old. They cover educational settings from early years through to schools and FE colleges, as well as supported employment and apprentices. EHC plans also cover children who are homeschooled. If you're a resident in Bath and North East Somerset, the EHC Needs Assessment and EHC plan are coordinated by the local authority, Bath and North East Somerset Council. The plan is a legal document. The local authority will only make a decision about going ahead with an EHC plan after we've taken into account the child or young person's and their parents' or carers' views, wishes and feelings. The Special Educational Needs and Disability Panel, usually referred to as the SEND panel, make all decisions. You can get impartial information, advice and support about EHC assessments and plans from the SEND Partnership Service. The process. First, an EHC assessment needs to be requested. You or your child's educational setting can ask for an assessment. Young people aged 16 and older can ask for an assessment in their own right. A request for an EHC assessment is usually made when, despite the best efforts of the educational setting, the child or young person isn't making the progress that you'd all expected. All requests for assessment are considered, and the local authority will let you know their decision within 6 weeks. If the decision is not to go ahead and do an EHC assessment, you may ask a senior inclusion officer from the Special Educational Needs and Disability team to meet with you. They can help you in the educational setting work out why you feel your son or daughter's needs are not being met. If the young person is aged 16 plus, they can appeal the decision not to do an EHC needs assessment. If they are under 16, you can make the appeal on their behalf. Appeals are time limited. The SEND Partnership Service can give you more information about the appeals process. If the decision is to do an EHC assessment, you will get a visit from a SEND practitioner. They will tell you more about the assessment process and how they will make sure you are involved. Now the local authority consults with everyone who is important to the child or young person's education, health and care. The child or young person, parents or guardians, an educational psychologist, the educational setting and health and social care professionals. Professionals are required to reply to our request for information. You and your son or daughter can also ask the local authority to talk to other professionals that are important in the child or young person's life, such as a speech and language therapist. An EHC assessment can't be completed without listening to everyone. During the assessment, you and the child or young person should be asked what matters to each of you and your aspirations for the future. You will all be asked how you feel these aspirations and the desired outcomes can best be met. These might be identified by a one-page profile or a My Future, My Choice document. This part of the process takes up to 10 weeks. The local authority now looks at the EHC needs assessment and decides if an EHC plan is needed or if the evidence shows that the child or young person's needs should be being met within the resources of the educational setting. If the decision is not to go ahead with an EHC plan, you will be sent a Special Educational Needs and Disability Support Plan, which will identify how the child or young person's needs will be met within their current provision. You can ask for a meeting with a senior inclusion officer to discuss the decision not to issue an EHC plan. The young person, if they are 16 or over, can appeal the decision not to go ahead with the EHC plan, or you can appeal on their behalf if they are under 16. The appeal time is limited and the SEND partnership can give you more information. If the decision is to go ahead with the EHC plan, you and your son or daughter will be sent a draft EHC plan and copies of all the reports used to write it. You have 15 calendar days to tell the local authority what you think of the plan and to ask for any changes. This is where you can make a difference to the plan. You can also say which educational setting you want your son or daughter to attend. Next, the educational setting will be consulted. They have 15 calendar days to respond. At this stage, you, or the young person if they are 16 or over, can ask to have a personal budget prepared. The local authority will consider each request for a personal budget on a case-by-case basis. based on the principle of increasing the participation of children, young people and their parents in decisions about their provision and control over how that provision is delivered. Now the final EHC plan is sent out, naming the educational setting that your son or daughter will be attending. This might be where they go now, or it could be somewhere new, depending upon what you have requested and whether the local authority agrees that this is the best place to meet their needs. As well as you and your child, the final EHC plan must also be sent to the educational setting named in it and to the Clinical Commissioning Group. The Clinical Commissioning Group agrees the funding for any health needs in an EHC plan. The whole process should take no more than 20 weeks. It can seem like a long and daunting process, but it is important to make sure that your son or daughter's educational needs are being met in order to help them achieve their aspirations and their desired outcomes. If you want to know more about the EHC plan process, or if you think your child has additional needs, you can get impartial, confidential and prompt information, advice and support from the SEND Partnership Service. You might like to look at our online resources first, or contact us by phone or email.